Hello everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables and welcome to my first reading wrap-up month of 2024. January's already over. I can't believe it. Yes, I can. January was not the best month for me, both reading-wise, mentally, just I only read 5 books in the month of January. That's it. Only 5. And let me tell you right now, that was a struggle. It was a lot of time. I thought it was only going to be 3, and I was just going to have to be okay with it. Basically, a huge family medical emergency happened with some of my husband's family, and everything's okay right now. Things are not out of the woods, but it has taken, if you know, you know. But I'm not going to go into detail because it's not my information to share, and, you know, it's just privy. But either way, it really rocked all of our worlds, and it made me reading. So we're now slowly getting back into the groove of things and things like that. But either way, reading definitely took a toll on January with that. But that's okay. It happens. Life happens. There are some months where it's just going to be hard, where things are going on, and that's just how it is, and that's just how we're going to be okay with it. So it's 5 books for me in January. I will literally pat myself on the back because of everything that happened. I say good job to me because it was a struggle and I'm proud of myself. So as always, if you're new to my wrap-ups, I always start off with my least favorite book that I read that month, working up to my favorite, and there's only 5, so it won't be a lot. So anyway. First up, I want to talk about Mile High by Liz Tomford. This is the first book in the Windy City series, and I actually read this one second. I read them out of order because what am I if not a rule breaker? I'm not a rule breaker. I don't know. But either way, this is about 2 characters named Stevie and Xander, and each one of these books is kind of set in Chicago and is set with sports. Xander is kind of the Chicago's ice hockey bad boy, if you will. He's got a bad boy image. He takes a new girl home every night. He is just a bad guy, but he's really not. And then he meets Stevie, who is one of the flight attendants on his private plane that these hockey players have, and she's feisty, she's, you know, and he's really getting attracted to her, and she's really getting attracted to him, and it's just a really cute romance. I didn't love it as much as the second book in the series, which is why I only gave this one a 3 out of 5, but it was still cute. If you're a big fan of sports romances, I would highly recommend checking out this series because I know I'll be finishing it. The 3rd one just came out, and that's about baseball, which that's my favorite sport, so I'm very excited for that one to read it, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I have The Breakup Tour by Emily Wibberley and Osman Sima-Broca. This is their newest adult romance release, and if you can't tell by the cover and everything, this is pretty much like very much inspired by Taylor Swift, and it's about a character named Riley who is kind of like Taylor Swift. She's a big famous musician. She gets her big break kind of into writing this album called the Breakup album, where every different song's about a different relationship in her life. She has one mega hit that her ex-husband claims is about him, but she's like, no, it is not about you. It's about my college sweetheart named Max. And she basically goes to Max and she's like, hey, can you like just tell people like this song's about me? And he's like, no, I don't really want to do that, but I'll kind of hint at it if you let me go on tour with you as your piano player, because once upon a time they were in love and wanted to be musicians together, make it big, and so it's kind of like a restart for them. And it's very much, if you're a Swiftie, you need to read this book. I would not classify myself as a Swiftie. Do I know all of her music? Yes. Am I a fan of it? Yes. I'm not like a diehard one, so it's hard to say, but it was cute. It wasn't my favorite. The miscommunication, like, they do that so well in their books. Like, I want to like strangle both the characters. I'm like, just talk, just say what you want. You're adults, you're not teenagers. Talk. It's just the miscommunication. It's just horrible, which is probably why I only gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It just wasn't it for me, but I did like it much more than the release last year. Do I know you? Do I know that book? No, I don't. I'm not being snarky, I'm not. Anyway, this was cute. Again, if you're a big Swiftie, I would highly recommend reading this. Next up, we have one that I read on a total whim, and that is The Rom-Con by Devin Daniels. I'd say, you know, if you're a big Swiftie, read this one. If you're a big fan of the movie if you're a big fan of the movie How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, read this one. It's literally like the movie. It's all about a character named Cassidy who gets broken up with. She has a 90-year-old grandmother, and her grandmother's like, you know, back in my day, dating was different. Getting a man was different. And she finds all this stuff at her grandma's house in like 1950s, like how to snag your man. It has stuff like like what not to do and stuff, or like it has stuff like, you know, like keep a drink for him always, make sure dinner's ready, you know, act innocent and like a damsel in distress and stuff like that. And Cassidy is a writer for Siren, much like what's the magazine, and Composure, I believe, in the movie. And she basically is kind of like the how-to girl, like Andy Anderson. Her name is Cassidy, and she decides to do an article of what not to do, like for dating, like to like deter a guy. And what better way to do that with the guy named Jack, who is the company of like their rival brawler, who is like the man sight. You know what I'm saying? It's clearly so obviously inspired by How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, but it was exactly what I needed. I was reading in the thick of things, and it was a perfect palate cleanser. It was funny, it was cute, it was not meant to be taken too seriously. I enjoyed it. 3.5 out of 5. You just want a cute, funny rom-com with not a lot of depth, I liked it. Then we have The Right Move by Liz Tomford, the second book in the Windy City series, and I really enjoyed this one. This one, I forget their names. Gosh. One is Indy, and I think the other one's is it Ryan? The guy is basically Stevie from the first book's twin brother, and he's a professional basketball player. And basically Stevie's like, look, hey, my best friend Indy, who's also a flight attendant, just got broken up with horribly. She needs a place to stay. And he's like, fine, I will do this because you're my sister. And they eventually have to fake date for something, and it is super cute. I really enjoyed it. Definitely my favorite of the series so far, which is why I gave it a 4 out of 5. And the last book I have is my favorite. I'm still not even sure the rating yet, but it's one I read very much on a whim. I just saw it and I was like, this looks really interesting, and I'm glad I picked it up because I really liked it. And that is The First Lie Wins, or just First Lie Wins, by Ashley Elston. She previously has written young adult books, if I'm not mistaken. This is her first foray into adult mystery thrillers, and I really liked it. If you're a fan of Alias, like goodness me, like how many, like if you like this, you'll like this. I should probably do that video soon. But this is very much like Alias. We follow a character named Evie Porter, and basically it says, Evie Porter has everything a nice southern girl could want. A doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight group of friends. The only catch, Evie Porter doesn't exist. So she is, this girl just goes with different aliases. Whatever her boss, Mr. Smith, comes up with, and the assignment she has to figure out. And she is so like clever and on her feet, and things are happening, and I really enjoyed this book. I would say it's more of a mystery and not so thrilling, but I liked it a ton. It kept me invested. I wanted to finish it as soon as possible. It was just a great thing for me to read this month. Like, it wasn't super like gory or intense or super thrilling, but it was mysterious enough to keep me really invested in it. So I liked it a lot. I'm gonna give it 4.5, honestly. I was thinking about giving it 5, but I was like, I just don't know. But I really enjoyed it, and I would not be surprised. This is one of my favorite mystery thrillers that I read this year already. So yeah, there's my short but sweet list of books I read in January. Nothing more to say because it's only 5 of them. I hope I can pick up my pace with reading because I do miss it, but you know, when things sometimes in your life happens, a book slump hits, and it hits freaking hard. I'm just literally now kind of coming out of it. Like, I can see the light out of the tunnel as far as the slump goes, but I'm still kind of in it. But nevertheless, I'm excited to get back into reading and hoping to pick up my pace in February, the shortest month of the year. We'll see. But either way, I would love to know if you've read any of these books, what your thoughts and your feelings were. Please leave them in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.